We've got another CNN panel to look at, breaking down the recent chaos on the election trail with the constant attacks being lobbied back and forth as each side tries to make its closing message. So I wanted to take a few of these clips and hop into the discussion one more time today.
Here's the thing. I think it's weird that we're asking Kamala to answer for what Joe Biden said, but we're not asking Trump to answer for what Trump says, right? Like, this is the thing. We're talking about garbage. He's cosplaying as another working class person. But his quote, he's quoted, I mean, you see him at the end of that quote, but his quote from Wisconsin was, "It's not her, it's the people around her. They're scum, they're absolute garbage." And that's Donald Trump himself saying that. So why we're 2 days later talking about something that Joe Biden did where he tripped over his words, then corrected himself right away on Twitter, we're still talking about it 2 days later, but we're not talking about someone who says, we're scum, we're absolute garbage. Like, I don't know what we're doing.
This is spot on, and I think that Van Jones actually summed it up the best when he said that Trump gets to be lawless and Kamala has to be flawless, as it stretches to every aspect of the campaign outside of just their rhetoric, right? If Trump cancels an event, it's, oh, he's owning mainstream media. He didn't want to do fake news. If Kamala doesn't do an event, she's scared. If Kamala releases a policy, she has to thoroughly explain how it's funded, how it's passed, how it's going to look, or, oh, she's just virtue signaling. Trump, however, can get by saying that he just has concepts. If Kamala takes too long answering a question, she has low IQ and can't handle the job. If Trump does the exact same thing, it's the weave and it's on purpose and it's super high intellect. I mean, the pattern of double standards trying to be imposed by the right should be pretty clear for most people to detect, and I would hope that a substantial portion of the electorate doesn't live in this sort of fantasy land that MAGA has to live into to be on the right side of so many issues.
Democrats have been calling him a fascist and other names for a long time. There's plenty of blame to go around.
Republicans
too.
Hold
on a second.
A fascist is not a name. A fascist is a bunch of things that add up to a way of being.
Yeah,
They're calling him a fascist because he's behaving like a fascist,
agree with that.
because he's talking about poisoning the blood of the nation, and because he's talking about rounding up political enemies, and because he's acting like a demigod, and because he's saying the rules don't apply to me, and because he's saying I'm going to close up the free press, I'm going to close your schools if you don't do what I say. He's acting like a fascist. That's why we're calling him a fascist. He's saying people are scum because he thinks they're scum, not because they are.
She is really good at this, honestly. Fascism is an ideology, right? It's a group of behaviors that add up to a thing, and if you do enough of those behaviors, then you're probably the thing. When Trump is echoing the rhetoric of fascists, when he's attacking the media like fascists, when he's destroying credibility in institutions like fascists, when he's saying he'll utilize the military like a fascist, I mean, what are we supposed to say? I would personally think it's imperative that the media and other politicians call out fascistic behavior, because if not us, then who? If he didn't want to be called a fascist, he can stop acting like one. But I believe that he takes great joy in the way his base allows him a free pass to do this in the open. So why would he stop unless, of course, he gets checked at the ballot box?
I want to play this because I think it's very instructive at what you're talking about. Okay, Joe Biden said what he said, but this is Donald Trump all along.
It's the people that surround her. They're scum, and they want to take down our country. They are absolute garbage.
Any Jewish person that votes for her, especially now, her or the Democrat Party, should have their head examined.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country. That's a bigger enemy than China and Russia. Any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined, because they are really screwing you.
But of course now we're supposed to believe from the guys who support this that it's the Democrats who go too far. It's the Democrats and the media who divide the country. It's the Democrats and the media who victimize others, right? It's such a weird way to live that I think stems from narcissism. Truly, when you're in power, you want to show no empathy and wield that power without cudgel. And then you want to play the victim when you don't have the upper hand in hopes that you can then get any sympathy you can. And it's something that just stuns me, honestly, when anyone falls for this. I mean, just anyone. There's not even specific groups, right? I mean, we've all seen Trump these last 8 years, and the level of delusion that you have to induce yourself into to believe that he's not the problem is enough that you should probably get some sort of help. Just saying.